Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I am Danny Vega, joined today by the lovable, the lovely, the one and only Sarah Lemime, folks.
How is it going?
I'm kind of buzzing because I just hit that new intro, one and only. I don't know. I just feel like I'm always trying to spice it up, and I somehow put some spice in that shit. And not
one and only is great. Because I feel like there's like 10,000 of me in the world, but not me specifically. But you know,
Sarah Levine is to Jews as Danny Vega is to Mexicans. Fair?
But you're not Mexican.
No, the prevalence of the name is what I'm referring to.
Is that a?
Oh my God! Have I not told you?
Is Vega a Mexican last name?
Oh, the amount of Danny Vegas in Mexico is disgusting.
Really?
Oh my God! I think I googled it and it's like 300,000. It's like some crazy number. I ran into. Yeah.
Wait, what does Vega mean in Spanish?
I think there's an interpretation that says meadow, but it isn't like a word that you would use really. It's the name of a star. We got a star on that. We've got a vegan protein. You know, Vega. It's kind of fun.
Yes.
We got Vincent Vega as a Pulp Fiction character.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Danny Vega, the fat-fueled family, Danny Vega. He is winning on Google. He is a more famous Danny Vega than I am. And you know what? He looks great. I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't look fucking great, people. He is yoked. And guess what, though? Guess what? With me, we can have some carbs. So how about that? How about that, more famous Danny Vega? I'm going to be enjoying my pasta, but you enjoy your weightlifting and your keto, brother.
What is his fat? What is it?
The fat-fueled family. And
so they're fat or they're ripped?
They're fat-fueled because it's keto. They only eat fat.
Oh, it's keto.
Oh, no, Sarah. Oh, no. Oh, no, guys.
What happened?
Wow, this is a turn, people. I pulled up Danny Vega, MS. What is that? Master of Science? I don't know what that means. Oh, my God, Sarah. This is so much to process. First line of his Instagram bio, losing followers one truth at a time.
No.
What alt-right thing did the most famous Danny Vega tweet?
Oh, God. QAnon.
Okay. And now I'm really confused. I think he might be a Jew for Jesus. This is so much to process. I opened his Insta profile and his Insta story, and it's a quote from Corinthians. Okay. Yep, a bunch of quotes, all Bible quotes. All his Insta stories are Bible quotes, and then we see his breakfast, which was 6 eggs, manchego cheese, and garlic stuffed olives. Once again, people, you could hang out with me, and we'll eat real food, not healthy food.
We'll eat donuts, ice cream, coffee, cigarettes.
There we go.
Did I get it?
You didn't. No, there's no coffee in there. It's donuts, ice cream, hot dogs, cigarettes.
Hot dogs. I knew it. Okay,
Sarah, get ready for this. I can't even believe this is real. But then we go into his Insta profile. What does he say? Yeshua is king, Torah. And yet he's quoting Corinthians in his Insta story. Is my read accurate? Is this a Jew for Jesus?
I don't know. Like, Yeshua sounds like a Hebrew-ized version of Jesus. That's not a word. But you know what I mean.
But he says Torah. I don't know.
Has what?
Why? Corinthians certainly isn't in the Torah.
No, definitely. No, not. I'm like, racking my brain. I'm like, hold on. They have 5 books. It's easy to remember. Corinthians is not one of them.
They have 5 books?
The Torah. You know what I mean.
Why would you say they? Don't you mean we?
I meant they, referring to the Torah as a plural entity. I don't know why.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, okay. I don't know what's going on with this Danny Vega.
Oh, my God. From keto to cults. What happened to this man?
I mean, it's possible. I just don't really understand his angle and why is he losing followers? Like, I'm going to have to just binge all this.
I think we can imagine why, but still.
I'm not seeing anything controversial. And I mean, look, the guy is yoked in a half. He looks great.
Oh my God.
Wait, family.
What's his handle? Danny Vega?
His handle is dannyvega.ms. You know, I don't know why.
Well, listen, actually, I was like, you have the monopoly on my search, but also because I've searched for your name a bunch of times.
Okay. I don't know why he's losing followers. What is he putting? I mean, they're Bible quotes. They're not offensive. It's like success mindset stuff, but I really gotta know. Is he a anti-vax? How is he losing these followers? I kind of, for me, Sarah, this Danny Vega, I was like, I thought of him as an alternate world Danny Vega, and he kind of looks like my cousin. And I'm kind of like, this is one version of who I could be. This is the more disciplined, body-oriented, physical-oriented guy. But now he's losing followers,
As a Jew for Jesus, he could be up your alley. But I will also say that the way that you described his breakfast made it sound so much more appetizing than what it is. Like,
you saw the picture and you sobered up.
I was like, oh God, this man has like the driest scrambled eggs, which makes sense because he's probably not allowed to put milk in them. Actually, that's not true. Milk has fat.
Right.
And like the cheese is on the side. Oh God, no, none of it.
I mean, the only kind of thing I could even ding him for, but look, I mean, he's a fitness guy. He's got the Steven Crowder meme, the guy at the table holding the coffee, and then there's the sign, and the format of the meme is blank, 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 change my mind.
Yes.
And he did it with training and eating right is a form of worship, which
God,
it's a little far, but like, I'm like, whatever, that's his thing. I mean, maybe that's why
here's what I could ding him for. Wow, I feel like this is me. Now we're just cyberbullying a random man, but like, he posted a screenshot of his tweet that just says, check in with your friends today, which is like, I just don't like when people do that when they post a very mundane statement as if it is their trademarked original thought.
Yeah, that's so obnoxious.
So that's my one dingage.
I think the reason he's losing followers is because I think he was all fitness and now he's pivoted to Christianity fitness. Yeah, and so
I'm with you.
I think this is hurting him, but he is still going to hold. We're going to do here an incognito. He is still a strong #1 on the Danny Vega search term. But good news, guys. I know a lot of you are invested in this. My Instagram is #2 and my Twitter is #3. So I'm getting very close to you, Danny Vega MS. I'm just warning you. I am just warning you, my friend.
My God.
But he's a Cuban, so whatever,
Oh my
We're
God.
on the same
wow.
team. Fuck it. Yeah, guys, races are teams. That's what I just implied.
I love it. Maybe he really is just the jacked version of you.
He's so fucking jacked. He is so jacked.
That is amazing. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was going to say there actually is another Sarah Levine who's an author, and she wrote this book called Treasure Island with 3 exclamation points.
No. That's too many exclamation points.
Yeah. I'm like, what even was this book about? Obviously, I have not read it because...
Treasure Island!
Yeah.
Treasure Island!
My God. Yeah, that's it.
Hey, Sarah, how's that book you're working on?
That's how she pitched it.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say, shouts out to our new patrons, Eva, Yasmin, Sharif, Alexis, and a very special shout out and a half to Catherine. Thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate it. I basically have no juice. Sarah and I were just laughing because I was like, what should we talk about? And thank God we had this Danny Vega riff.
Phew, thank you.
Wow,
thanks, Danny.
So any juice for us on your side, Sarah?
Going to a bachelorette this weekend.
Yeah.
So that should be fun.
I love that for you.
However, going to Austin and Dallas I think Texas, but mostly Dallas had these like once in a century flood or like 1 in 1,000-year flood or something crazy. So
oh my God.
That was last weekend though, or like early this week.
Yeah.
What day is it? It's Tuesday. So I'm like, hopefully, that won't impact anything. But we'll see. I've never been to Texas except on a layover.
Well, congrats. And I urge you to do what my dad did. As soon as you get on the plane, you got to just belt out, all my exes are Texas.
I thought you were going to go, yeehaw, because I could do that.
Yeehaw.
I'll do that and throw my cowboy hat in the air.
Or you can drop a classic, Treasure Island.
Oh, my God. I'll be like, who are you?
Well, Sarah put this together here. This is very, very interesting. And I think, we've got to take personal responsibility for this. This is a very interesting angle. Posted on the subreddit This is what somebody wrote. Cosmo Humanist, too many AITA commenters advocate too quickly for people to leave their partners at the first sign of conflict, and this kind of thinking deprives many people of emotional growth. When we muster the courage to face our relationship problems and not run away, we develop deeper capacities for love, empathy, understanding, and communication. Encouraging people to exit relationships at the first sign of trouble is dangerous and immature and a byproduct of our throwaway consumer society. I often get a feeling that many commenters don't have enough relationship experience to be giving such advice. Please think twice before encouraging people to make drastic changes to their relations.
Yeah, so I mean that's like an interesting concept, and I probably agree that like most people on Reddit, or at least the subreddit, are, you know, don't really have the real life experience. Just judging by the holier than thou attitude people tend to get about things. I don't know. It's interesting because I feel like the more I read Reddit, like it does get you into this mindset where like any shitty behavior, and you're kind of primed to be looking at it as like a sign of abuse or a sign that the person is a walking red flag.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of tough. I mean, sometimes, I mean, a lot of the times there are people who are just genuinely like in terrible relationships, abusive relationships. Their partner like clearly doesn't respect them at all.
Right.
But I do think that, yeah, there are some times where the first instinct is to kind of like extrapolate and see like, oh, where else in their life is this person acting like this? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, you know, break up with him. Look, I made the sticker, so did I perpetuate this culture? I did. I'm responsible for that. You know, I think it can be tough, and there are definitely some times in my life where I have really aggressively cut someone out. Not at the first sign of conflict. I mean, look, this is actually a deep cut here. First sign is wrong, right? Because we have talked about a one strike rule. There's no really such thing as a one strike rule. You're being a little ridiculous, you know, unless the rules don't murder people. But like, they're in general, I believe, and we haven't talked about it too recently, we have said that people with one strike rules are assholes, because it's just like people make mistakes, things happen, you know?
Agree. And also like in any relationship you're in, like you're gonna get hurt by your partner, you're gonna hurt your partner, like hopefully unintentionally.
I love that. I'm proud of you for saying that. That is fucking real. And that is so mature, and people actually do need to hear that shit. You're so fucking right.
And like, you just can't expect a relationship to be all sunshine and rainbows. Like the real relationship part is how you deal with those times that you are hurt or you get hurt.
100%. And yeah, I'm actually really relieved that you said that too, because I think I have so much guilt and hate for myself, and like, you know, I still think of things that I told my like 5-year ex, and I'm like, I can't believe I said that. What a fucking, what a petty, jealous thing to say, you know? And I don't know why I'm sitting there. This is just what kind of brain I have. It's like
relatable.
Yeah. It's like my brain's like, we will take a break from thinking about work now. Let us search regrets. Regret
Oh my
found.
God. And now a word from your most horrible memories.
Our sponsor today.
Yeah.
The time that you tried to kiss a girl in kindergarten. You sick fucking pervert, Danny. Fuck you. Now back to the show. Yeah, I think that's a great insight. I think it's a great insight, and that, you know, it's just part of it. It's part of it that you're gonna hurt. You're gonna get hurt. Because if you really love someone and respect them and spend enough time with them, it's just part of it. And I think a big thing of maturity, this is the other aspect to this, is that young people don't realize that the world really is not black and white. It just isn't, you know, and I've been wrong about this, and I've been dogmatic about it. You know, I think cheating is a good topic, because like, for me, I'd be like, oh, cheat on me once. I mean, I have reached somewhat of a gray area, and that I would say like getting blackout drunk and cheating to me is very different than consciously cheating. But having been exposed to some of this, not on my own behalf, I'm very single, as you know, I don't I don't think cheating has to end a relationship. I think that like life is just complicated and it's gray, and these rules and standards and things like this are just, in the end, I'll quote Dr. Vega here and just say it really is always about that holistic picture. And
yeah,
it's your fucking life, dog. You know, like I can tell you my little rules and my little ideas for behavior, but like in the end, you gotta do what's best for you in the situation, and you can't demonize people, you know, unless they are demons over and over again. But like, you gotta have some leeway. And I mean, I think
I'm with you, because I think Reddit is like particularly absurd about cheating. Like they are so rigid and vitriolic, honestly, about people who cheat. I mean, particularly women who cheat. And I also I don't believe like once a cheater, always a cheater. I mean, if you're having serial affairs in all of your relationships, that's one thing. But like, kind of like you said, like just because you get blackout drunk and cheat, or even if you don't get blackout drunk, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
You make a bad choice. Like, I don't think that means all of your future relationships are doomed.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think a good thing that I've trying to picked up on is like there can be a gap between like what I think is acceptable and what I think is good for me. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, here's where I was gonna go with this. I've read this thing online that like some women are only comfortable with narcissists. That's just the thing.
Why?
For whatever reason, because that's how they were raised or whatever. They don't want to be with someone where the relationship is actually equal.
Respect them and treat them well.
Yes.
That is sad.
Yeah, that's I know it. Well, it's sad to you. It's sad to you, and it would be sad for you as well if you were in that relationship. But in the end, that's how they're wired. And that's what I've realized, like, who am I to judge?
But are they happy? That's the one thing that I'm like, having been in a relationship with someone like that, I'm like, how can you really be happy? You're happy when things are good, but then you're kind of at the whim of their mood swings. Yeah, well,
but Sarah, that's because you are not one of these people. So for you, it is a terrible relationship, but for others, that swing, right? And I think that was kind of the premise of it, is that it is that makes them feel alive, you know?
Oh,
and if,
Lord.
Yeah, and if that's how you grew up, right, and that's how you were raised, and essentially that's how you were wired, then that might be the right relationship for you. And so I think part of life is, you know, trying to figure out, obviously we're trying to figure out what works for people. You know, we're giving advice on this, but like in the end, we are all individuals, and, you know, that could be your thing, you know. I think what's great about AITA...
This is disturbing to me. I'm like still chewing on that, but yeah.
It is,
well, maybe I'm just disturbing. Imposing my morals on it, but...
Right? Like, because I'm tempted to be like, oh, well, they're sick. Those are sick women. And it's like, well...
Or it just seems codependent.
Yeah, I mean, that's just using it, you know, that's saying there's something dysfunctional about it, right? But, like, is it dysfunctional? What if it's functional for them? You know, so, it is codependent objectively. I think that's a more fair, less judgmental way to do it. But in the end, it's like... Yo, if that's what works for you, like who am I to say that that's wrong or bad, you know? And like that's so much of life is figuring out what works for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like now I don't know if I love what we're saying or what I'm saying overall here. I guess what I wanted to say is when it comes to AITA and it comes to, you know, and we get into this a lot, like, am I in a toxic thing? Is this relationship a toxic dynamic? Was this a one-off mistake? Are they a gaslighter? Are they a narcissist or whatever? And a lot of people ask these questions. I think one of the cool things about AITA, and one thing that I would always push people to do, and it's something that I did compulsively in my relationships, is just write that shit down. Just write that shit down, because I think the thing about toxic relationships is that you can get lost in them and lost in that dynamic and lose your sense of reality. And
for sure. That's like the big thing about gaslighting.
Exactly. And the number one way to combat that is to keep records, to write things down, get it in writing, folks, because in the end, if you can go back and look and see, like, you wrote this and this and this, the patterns will be much more clear to you, because if you're anything like me, I don't have super sharp memory, but I got notes for days, you know?
Yeah. But okay, I don't want to get so stuck on this that we don't do
Sure.
the episode. But I guess I just will say that I feel like if you're even getting to a point where you feel like you have to be keeping records, like, I don't know, that's also kind of a worrisome sign.
That's
Don't you
fair.
think?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fair. I mean, look, I'm using our relationship here as a measure, and I've never written a note about something you did. But like, I do think it's worth
Yeah.
noting here in a moment of honesty that Sarah has made me extremely angry and caused me like a lot of distress. I don't know if I've lost a night of sleep, you know, to something you've said to me or some kind of conflict we've had, really. But like, there's been some moments where like, yeah, you caused me distress, you know?
I mean, same here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's normal.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just because we have like a working relationship. I don't think like my friends usually tend to make me like so angry. I mean, unless, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot more than, you know, I talk with a lot of my friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're one of my closest friends. I mean, it's 2 hours a week, every fucking week for years. So like, that's a lot of hang time.
Isn't that crazy? We've covered like all kinds of topics too.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, on to bring it back here to the title, literal, you know, I think that, writing things down is always a good approach. I mean, let's read a comment here. Wicked S writes, sometimes I'm surprised by how quickly people jump to leave him/her in the comments, but I believe many are speaking from personal experience, like they've been through some shit and they see the red flags at OP's situation that maybe they missed on their own and are hoping to spare OP pain down the road.
I mean, that's kind of what I think, obviously. I mean, and I'm sure this has been, I know this has been a criticism of the podcast. Like, ultimately, when you're evaluating anything, you can pretty much only do so through the lens of your own experience.
Right.
I mean, you can try to think outside of your experience, but, you know, who's to say if your thinking is really accurate? But so I agree with that person in that, of course, everybody's bringing their own biases. And I just think the subreddit in general is kind of primed to look for those like signs.
I think that, you know, it goes every which way, right? It's like you can't not bring your bias to the table when you're reading it. And you also really can't paint an objective picture. It's always going to be from your point of view. But I think that's why one of the reasons I think that writing is so powerful and important when you are feeling some shit, because it will help separate your memories, which can be affected by emotions and
that's true.
Events and stuff like that. And just like once you start to have a written record of ways you felt and things you felt, you know, it starts to look a little different when you're looking back at it and you go, oh my God, here I was writing down here that after this fight, I felt really confused that I wasn't sure. And it's like, oh, now you're in that position again.
Yeah, that's real. That can definitely be helpful.
I think so. I think so. But good luck to everyone out there in their relationships. Good discussion. Nice little philosophy to start us up here. Much love for all y'all. Please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Sarah, I don't know if I told you this, but we recently hit 300 supporters.
Woo!
Some people don't publish their Patreon numbers, but I'm telling you guys. So we really appreciate it.
Love that.
We've got these stickers. Please join the Patreon now and you can get the new sticker. These are vinyl stickers. They're really great. People love the designs. You can see those on Instagram stories, etc. And without further ado, I think we're ready to get into this shit, people.
Let's do it.
Our second story of the day, AITA for not wanting to attend a Game of Thrones themed wedding.
Uh-oh.
But first, it's AITA for telling my extended family how many men my sister has slept with after she outed our youngest brother as a virgin.
Oh.
We had a family dinner this evening. My fam has 4 kids in total. Me, my elder sister, 29F, younger sister, 24F, and youngest brother, 22M. Extended fam attended our family dinner, so all of our significant others, our cousins, aunts, uncles, etc. During the dinner, my elder sister and my youngest brother got into a mild disagreement. My sister seemed, at least to me, to be coming across as very aggressive out of frustration and losing said argument. The two of them
It's kind of how it goes when you're losing an
Right.
argument.
The two of them were too absorbed in their argument to realize the rest of us were getting fed up. Eventually, my sister got really fed up and said, "Shut up. I'm not going to argue with a 22-year-old virgin."
Oh, brutal.
My brother hadn't done any personal attacks up until that point. It was completely unprovoked. I think it might have been the alcohol, as my sister is a mean drunk. Anyway, I immediately told my sister to grow up and that she was making an embarrassment of herself. She replied by saying everyone knows he's a virgin and she didn't say anything wrong. This annoyed me, as my bro definitely has confidence issues and doesn't need to be made fun of like this. So I responded by saying how she slept with well over 100 men while she was in college, and that since everyone in the family knows this, it's not a big deal, right? Turns out her husband didn't know. I genuinely assumed he must have known. He left the party angrily, saying my sister misled him about her past.
Oh, God.
Family is blaming me for their marital problems. I refuse to accept I did anything wrong. My sister bullied my brother in front of everyone. All I did was give her a taste of her own medicine. AITA.
Wow. I don't know what to say except to lead with the verdict. So, what say you?
Well, I think the first question that I'm having is, what was the nature of her misleading? I think this is an interesting question. I know, obviously, if I'm trying to play it completely safe with our 90% women audience, I would say, like, you don't have to tell your partner anything about your past, but, that's slut shaming, right? Like, I could go that way, but I'm like, if a woman asks me my number, I'll be honest with you, I'm 5'9", guys.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? It's sad. It's a sad number,
That's funny. Yes. I mean, the thing is, like, she could have actually misled the husband by telling him that she was a virgin when they met or something like that. Or she could have just simply never mentioned it, and now he's feeling like butthurt, as men tend to do when they find out that the woman that they're with, has had more sexual partners than they have.
Right.
So,
which is interesting
it's hard to tell.
Me, by the way. So it's your claim that a woman would not be bothered by this generally.
It's not really that a woman wouldn't be bothered, but I just think men tend to make like a bigger, more vocal deal about it.
Yeah, I mean,
like, men don't get slut shamed,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the classic studs versus sluts, right? With a guy, it's like a positive.
Yeah, so it's not to say that a woman wouldn't have feelings about it.
By the way, that's another pyramid scheme. Guys look good the more women they sleep with. But for every guy who gets slept with, a woman has to do it. That's a pyramid scheme.
No, that's seriously how I felt while dating, because people would just be like, oh, well, you should wait because a guy's going to lose attraction in you. And it's just like, all right, well, he's telling me this and that and the other. And like, so I pretty much just have to play Russian roulette out here. Like, I don't really understand. Their game was rigged. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. I remember that being a point of contention between us, that I told you not to do that. And I also
it's too late. I had already done it.
Yeah, right. I haven't had sex with anyone in so long. I'm so sad inside. So I think the question here really is, she took a major shot at him.
She did.
Calling someone out as a virgin is fucking mean. And
it's just a low blow, unrelated, like irrelevant.
Character attack.
And that's how you know you're losing an argument. Exactly. When you go to like dumb character attacks.
Really rude. Really, really rude.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like the equal and opposite rude thing, or not even opposite, because it's the same thing, is for the sister to jump in with yet another personal attack.
I didn't understand that. That was the sister who did
Yeah,
that?
like, I'm like, she wasn't even involved in this. She got involved to start some shit and then dip.
Yeah. Wait, OP is a girl? I read this whole time that OP was a guy, but now I'm not seeing it either way.
Because I saw me, elder sister, and thought that OP was the elder sister. That's not how it works. I guess we don't know.
We don't know.
But I don't think it really, well, yeah, I don't think it really matters.
It really shouldn't, but I guess if OP was a woman, I would feel a little bit differently. As a guy, I would be like, that's a little bit more unhinged to shame a woman. I don't know. Is there anything there?
I don't know. Definitely a little bit weirder to shame your like opposite sex sibling about their sex life. Either way, you know, because
Yeah.
I feel like that's especially something that I do not want to know about personally.
Right. I mean, look, I don't think OP is responsible for... I think OP is responsible for making a rude comment. You know, just like Sister is. But the fact that there was a marital fallout here, that's not on OP. That's on...
No.
What I mean,
The husband.
Well,
And whatever happened before that we don't know about.
yeah, like how did she explain that story? What was the nature of the deception? Like you said, if it's just omission, you know, I don't think you got to self-dox here and be like, yes, I have slept with 100 people. That said, I think it's a little odd. I think most couples, I mean, I remember having this conversation. I mean, I remember having this conversation in most of my relationships at some point, you know, and I do want someone with a similar number to me. I guess I can admit that. I don't know. I wouldn't like... I don't know why though, but it's like I get this pit in my stomach if I think like, oh, she's been with like twice as many people as me. I don't know what the root of that is, but I'm being honest. Please don't cancel me.
Insecurity, maybe? I mean, no, I honestly, it's not a conversation I've had because that's not important to me.
Yeah.
What is important to me is like, you know, what have been the extent of your relationships?
Insecurity.
That's like significant. Sex you can just have, right? Like relationships, I think, say more about you.
So, okay, but wait, let's just say it was insecurity. What exactly does that say about me? That I'm insecure, meaning what? That I should have had sex with more people?
I guess just because, like, why does the inequality bother you?
Yeah, why does it bother me? I guess it bothers me because I'm like, damn, that's a lot of people. Like, I feel like I've slept with a lot of people, and then you've slept with, you know, many more. Mm-hmm. Actually, now that I think of it, I see...
Because, like, if you had slept with that many people, then would it be a lot of people? Like, you know what I mean?
I now that I think about it, I think that I think I heard what I wanted to hear. Because I remember that I was like, yeah, my number's roughly X. And then she was like, yeah, mine's roughly X also. Sure, maybe-ish. And it wasn't like a thing. And, you know, it's not like a thing where you write it out. I think, but why do guys not like this? This is a thing. I think obviously the easy answer here is the sexist patriarchy. But could there be a different reason? Or does it have to be that?
Well, in my opinion, it just kind of folds into that reason. Just because, you know, I feel like men are held up to be like, I mean, like you said, like studs and sex is supposed to be the man's thing. But women, no, you're not supposed to have it and you're supposed to guard it, you know?
Well, maybe that's it, though. Maybe you just got it right there. It's because women, ultimately, a woman could have as high as a number as she wants.
Yeah.
Whereas a guy, not necessarily.
Say that
fair?
What do you mean?
No, in other words, there's always some guy that'll fuck you.
Oh, for sure.
You know? It's not on tap for guys like it is for girls. So,
Yeah, I could see that. But I feel like the socialization is that, like, men are, like, seen as... I don't know what the word is, but you know what I mean? Like, seen in a more positive light if they are able to just kind of get it.
Yeah.
Whenever.
It's a toughie. Nonetheless, interesting topic. Maybe we'll revisit it. Shout out. You know, I try my best. Please don't cancel me. But AITA for telling my extended fam how many men roughly my sister has slept with after she outed our youngest brother as a virgin. I mean, in my view, this is very cut and dry. Sister committed a crime. She was hit with an equal and opposite crime. Now, I will say this, Sarah. Had it been the brother who was insulted, who dropped this insult right back at her in a move of impulse, I could not I could not say that he was the asshole.
I know what you mean, because I feel like that's just kind of an equal
reaction. I mean, if you pull a knife on
like
someone...
a taste of your own medicine,
exactly.
you know?
You pull a gun on someone and they pull a gun back, they're not an asshole, right? So, like, bad example in America today, but you guys get what I mean, right?
Sheesh.
Jeez, I'm going to get
I do get what you're saying. I mean, I think it's because she wasn't even involved in this, got involved, you know, took this low blow, kind of just, like, lit the match. To me, it's a pretty classic ESH.
100%.
All right.
No, yeah, 100%. AITA for telling my extended fam how many men my sister has slept with after she had our youngest brother as a virgin. We agree wholeheartedly. It's a textbook ESH, people.
Literally, in the books, when you look it up in the dictionary, it's the picture of this. I don't know.
Guys, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Thank you for your patience. If any of the ads are bothering you guys, we are in kind of a medium-term project to put all the episodes probably on the bonus, so you can listen to those ad-free on the Patreon. And we're going to move all the ads. I know they're playing at random times. We are working on this. My apologies. It's being solved. Just give us some time while we work on that. Thank you for supporting the show. Much love. And here's Sarah.
AITA for not wanting to attend a Game of Thrones themed wedding. My friend Lexa is getting married soon. She and her husband are extreme Game of Thrones fans. They've watched the show 5+ times. Their house is decked out with Game of Thrones decorations, etc. Because of their shared love of Game of Thrones, Lexa and her fiance decided to have a Game of Thrones wedding. I'm perfectly fine with the idea of a themed wedding. I'm even okay with the Game of Thrones dress/costume for the wedding. The one thing I can't seem to get behind is the fact that the majority of the wedding will be conducted in High Valyrian. For those who don't know, it's a made-up language from the show.
I don't know, and I'm mad that I now do.
I know, right? Her wedding is also a destination wedding, and I'm finding it hard to justify going out of my way to go to a wedding that's not in a real language that I won't be able to understand. AITA if I don't go. I mentioned that I was having doubts to Alexa. She got really mad at me because I had originally said I could go before I knew it was in High Valyrian. She's also been sending me links to learn it on Duolingo.
Stop,
what the
Duolingo.
Fuck? Duolingo has fake languages?
Duolingo, why are you doing this? Do not normalize this shit.
I feel like even if I did show up, she'd be mad at me for not learning it. Now, this is the part where I'm like, okay, I always side-eye and edit. I don't know. You know what? I just don't like edits. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
OP added, the reception will also be in High Valyrian, and all speeches and toasts are expected to be in High Valyrian too.
I mean,
that doesn't ring like in the realm of sanity to me, because you are honestly like, it's cool to have, you know, an out there, not even out there, but like a bigger than normal obsession with something, but like you're banking on your friends and family to be equally obsessed with this show that they also know this language. I don't know, did you meet them all in a fan group? Because, like, how is this possible?
Yeah, I mean, look, in essence, this is almost a copy and paste of the puppet wedding, right? You've got...
literally the puppets.
Two people who are really into something. Previously it was puppets. This time is this fucking show with the hobbits or whatever. Yeah, I said that to annoy you. It's the show with the hobbits and the Nimbus 2000. I don't give a fuck about your little fantasies, all right? So, you know, I think that, like, having a themed wedding, I just think when it goes so far, it, like, starts to detach itself from, like, the fact that a wedding isn't a gimmicky show. It can be if that's what you really want, but, like, in the end, you are trying to unite people, create connection, create love, and I do think there should be, you know, there's a I mean, look, no, I don't want to go to this.
No, I mean, it's cringe. Like, that's just the thing. I mean, maybe my problem is I don't love anything enough. Like, these people love this show, and, like, those people love puppets. And maybe that's on me.
The thing is, like, I love Deadmau5,
it's fucking
right?
Cringe.
I love Deadmau5. I do. I'm publicly stating it. I know it's embarrassing. Don't cancel me. And yes, he did say problematic things on Twitch. I don't actually like him as a person. I just like his music. I would never have Deadmau5, even if I could afford it, play my wedding. You know why? Because nobody else likes that shit. You know, and yes, I know Game of Thrones is very popular, but percentage-wise...
Well, that's the thing, but I also feel like this is like... I know it's very popular, but this is also a true level of dedication that is not... That I would venture that the majority of people who like Game of Thrones are not at this level.
No, of course not. And statistically, even if it's the highest rated thing ever because 10 million people watch it, okay, that's still less than 1/3%. Nobody gives a shit about your little thing. So why don't you just fucking watch the show and do whatever you need to do and then not make your whole wedding about it? Because, like, where is your sense of, like, other people having a good time, right? Come on. These people are going to force High Valerian down our throats. Man, I'm getting an anxiety attack if I mix 1-2 friend groups, you know?
Right. I don't even like...
Oh my God.
I don't even get
What
it.
are my stand-up comedian friends going to say to Sarah? This is so awkward. You know? Like, come on. It's like, don't you have another outlet? This is what I want to say to these people. Like, can you, like, do something that's more, like, channel this freaky energy into a YouTube channel? Like, why are you forcing this meaningful event, this human universal event, right? This thing that connects all the people in your lives together, right? Like, yeah, you are at the center of your wedding, but I think this is, like, a modern narcissism to be like...
Thank you. I don't know. This is another Reddit rigidity. Ooh, that could be a new segment.
Reddit rigidity. Reddit jidity. There we go. Put it on a stick.
Oh, there we go. I think people love to throw around, like, it's your wedding, your choice. And, like, I think that's great when you have, like, overbearing family members who are trying to, like, completely change the scope of your wedding.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, you're throwing a party for yourselves, but it's also for your friends and family. And you can't be so absurdly self-centered that you like completely inconvenience them, make it a bad time for them. Like, ultimately, you want to have fun, but you want them to have fun, obviously. But I just feel like it needs to be stated in these days, you know?
I think so, because I think people are going so far with this. And, like, look, I think the wedding, I think it is better framing to look at your wedding as something that you are the center of, but it's not really about you. It's about, you know, having everyone come together and uniting these two sides of people. And, you know, there's a reason you have to invite your fucking mom's friend to your wedding, because it's not just about
mom's
you.
Paying. Just kidding.
Yeah, mom's paying. That's part of it. But it's also like, yeah, because, you know, she was your fucking, you knew her when you were a kid and now she's going to love it so much. Like, it's not all about you. And I feel like this, honestly, it's like there's the Coachella-ization of weddings, which I can live for, but this is like the Disneyification. And it's like,
yes,
just like,
oh my God, yes, I'm with you.
It's just not, it's starting to miss the mark. And I'm like, is there not another event can you have on Sunday night, the Game of Thrones?
Have a Game of Thrones birthday party.
Yes.
You know what? Like, people act like their wedding is the last party they'll ever throw in their life. Like, this is a birthday party theme. This is not your wedding. You know, I don't even know how you could have a good time knowing that you've, like, I don't know, knowing that your friends and family are like, what the fuck is this shit, you know?
Yeah. High Valerian. I mean, give me a break.
I will say, okay, somebody is with me in the comments. Hotspur Jr. says, since maybe 3 people at the wedding, if that, well, speaking of High Valerian, to have a conversation in it that isn't completely scripted, people are going to be talking all in English at the reception. There's no way there are hours of statements that have been translated for the wedding and the reception. I don't know. They're just kind of with me that, like, the reception is not going to be conducted in this made up language that nobody is going to know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that edit probably being bullshit. It's like you're just trying to paint a picture with this thing. Or maybe,
maybe she told you that, but, like, the reality is, unless, like, literally they met all of their family and friends at a Game of Thrones super fan club.
Yeah.
It's just not the reality. Like, what, you think grandma is fucking on Duolingo? Learning this Game of Thrones language? Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't actually... Look, I think part of it is this, like, insane individualism, you know, when we get into, like, well, it's their wedding, they can do whatever they want. But it's like, it really isn't, though. Like, what's the phrase? It takes a village. I know that's about kids. Mm-hmm. And like, fine, if you're never going to have kids, then maybe this rule doesn't apply. But I'm kind of like, yeah, a wedding is about kind of creating a community around your new little union. And I don't think that there's certain people that are obligated to come. And I don't like the idea of you throwing this highly bespoke, bullshit ass theme wedding that ultimately is going to not just rob people of enjoyment, but rob them of connection, rob them of humanity. You know, like, well, I'm Valerian. Like, no, I don't give a fuck, dog. I don't give a fuck about the world that George R.R. Tolkien built. Yeah, I said that to piss you off. I know his name. But, like, come on. Like, I do think, Sarah, I am fighting here for an NTA. I don't know if I'm going to get it.
Oh, why? What'd you think I was going to say?
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I have it yet because I'm like, are you an asshole?
I'm kind of just like NAH at this point because I'm like, you can do whatever bullshit you want, but, you know, nobody has to participate in that bullshit.
But I think that's the rub for me is that I'm like, God damn, you know, like Grammy's going to go if you make it a dead mouse wedding or a puppet wedding or a Game of Thrones wedding, you know. Grammy has to go. But, like, you really gonna do that to your grandma just because you like the white wedding and the invisible ones are here?
That's the one thing I know about the show.
Oh, the White Walkers. You didn't see it? Go. You didn't see it? Oh, season 8 sucked. I don't even like it anymore. Hey, why don't you consider getting a personality like mine? Have some water. Have some ice water.
Oh my god, that was an excellent rant. 10 out of 10. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I want to call them an asshole, but it's really like, I don't know. I feel like you are free to do this dumbass stuff if you really want, you know?
For me, I think there's an obligation trap that you're putting, and I do think it's like this, you know, rugged, rigid individualism. And I'm like, no, like, realistically, your wedding doesn't involve people of your life that maybe you don't even care about that much, but it's like the proverbial mom's friend and Grammy and all these people that, like, I just don't think you should drag them through this. If it was a birthday, I would be 100% aligned with you. So I actually think we are differing here. AITA for not wanting to attend a Game of Thrones themed wedding. I am saying not the asshole, and they are. I actually do think you're an asshole for throwing a hardcore themed wedding.
I'm just going to go with an NAH. I don't like it, but I can't come down on them for it.
Hey, folks, she's reasonable. I'm a little bit crazier. It is what it is. Nonetheless, no matter if you are a Danny or if you are a Sarah, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Over 120 bonus episodes, bi-weekly happy hours. And I know I've been a little bit slacking on the extra episodes. We got a bunch queued up, guys. They're coming. I've just been swamped. Here we go. We're going to wrap this thing up. Much love to all y'all. Shout out to my Game of Thrones fan. One of the greatest fantasy series of all time. AITA. For getting mad at my boyfriend for watching porn in front of me. Let me start by saying I, 20F, have no problem with my boyfriend, 22M, watching porn. He tries to have sex every night, but sometimes I say no because I don't want to, which isn't a problem for him, but his solution is to jerk off right next to me while I'm trying to sleep. It made me uncomfortable at first and still does, but not as much. I've just accepted that that's what he does and he feels comfortable around me to do it. So the other night he asked to have sex and I said, no, I'm going to sleep. And he pulled out his phone and started watching porn and jerking off. This made me upset and uncomfortable. I'm not sure if I was extra emotional that day, but I just broke down crying. Seeing the type of girls and videos he looks at made me feel super uncomfortable. He just looked at me and said, what's wrong? I explained to him that crossed a boundary for me and he does not understand how that is weird or uncomfortable for me. We got into a fight over it and I told him you can absolutely watch porn, just not in front of me. I'll admit I know I'm insecure and I'm working on it, and it is a big part of why it makes me upset. AITA for getting mad at him for watching porn in front of me.
Jeez. I mean, I think that's a super reasonable boundary, don't you?
100%. Yes.
Yeah, like, just don't do it literally next to me while I'm trying to sleep.
It doesn't even need
with the fucking volume on? Like, are you an animal?
That's crazy to me.
Like,
and also whatever. Just like, yeah, you fuck each other, but like, you know, your partner doesn't have a right to just jack off in front of you either. Like, no, that's weird.
Yeah, I feel like it almost makes the sex feel so impersonal when you're like, do you want to have sex? No? Okay, all right. Here's my hand right here next to you. Like, I don't know, something about that just feels like that would also make me feel weird.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's different folks, different strokes. I mean, it just really depends on a lot. I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, I do understand this behavior. What I don't understand is the behavior of her saying, I don't want you to do this, and him still doing it. That's just a simple boundary. And
Yeah.
I think it is violating. Absolutely. I mean, it's fucking weird. It's like, yo, you're like making yourself come in front of me, dog. That's like weird. I told you I don't want you to do this.
Right. I also will say, like, I'm going to be that person that we talked about in the beginning of the episode because, I don't know, I'm seeing red flags where, like, she wants a very reasonable boundary, and instead of talking to him about it, she just accepted it. And, you know, instead of being like, no, this is fucking weird that he does this, she immediately goes, well, I kind of know it's my fault because I'm insecure, and, like, throws the onus back on herself.
Yeah.
When it's really like, no, you made a very reasonable request and your boyfriend is not doing it and is refusing to understand why that's uncomfortable.
But wait, Sarah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did she at any point tell him to stop except at the end, right? I think she didn't.
I don't know.
She doesn't have a problem. She starts saying she doesn't have a problem with him watching porn. He tries to have sex, okay? And it made her uncomfortable at first and still does. But I've just accepted it, and that's what he does. And he feels comfortable around me to do it. So she had not told him this prior.
I mean, we don't know if she had or hadn't.
Well, she didn't say that she did. She never said that she
I mean,
told
but like,
him.
like going up, but like judging of the way that this guy tries to handle boundaries is like very possible that she did bring it up and he brushed it off.
Well, but she didn't say that, Sarah. That's vital here. You're inventing that. She never said that she told him before. This was the first time that she had told him. Isn't that true? Based on what's written
this is
here.
just the first time we know about it.
I don't think you're playing it as it lays. I think this was the first time that she actually said something. So I see some internalized unassertiveness here. I also think if it's hysterical, it's historical. I think she got really upset, you know, because this was painful for her.
Yeah, because he does this a lot.
Exactly. Well, she had done it. He had done it multiple times, and she didn't like it, and she didn't speak up until it absolutely got to her. And then it also had this additional trigger that she might not have foreseen, that she's now, you know, looking at the women he's jacking off to and being like, oh, you know, I wish I had a tattoo of a horse, you know, whatever. So anyway, look, I'm not trying to ding her. I think it's absolutely reasonable to say, no, I don't want you to watch that porn in front of me. I think that is absolutely fairly triggering, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely uncomfortable. I think like any reasonable person can understand why it would be uncomfortable, even if they don't share the same feelings.
It could be something you enjoy together in certain couples, but like if you
for sure,
if you don't enjoy it,
I'm
and
sure
it freaks
like
you out,
and in the right context, but not like, oh, okay, you don't want to have sex tonight, cool, like I'm just gonna go get myself off, like right here, like, you know. That doesn't sound fun for her.
I think you hit the nail on the head. What are you, an animal? I mean, if he's really, honestly though, if he really is just throwing it on with audio, I will actually go YTA just because playing
audio.
This was a constant thing with me and a previous girl I dated, the phone audio. There's no audio. You put on some headphones. I don't want to hear your phone sound.
Yeah, like any video?
Any video.
You mean? Yeah, I don't even like videos because I don't want to have to deal with the audio thing.
Exactly.
Like,
turn that shit off.
If someone sends me a video, I'm like, now I got to go find my headphones. It's a whole thing. I wasn't prepared for this.
Oh, God. Don't send me a video. Send me a transcript.
I'm literally the same. I will read the transcript. Do not make me watch it.
Yeah, please. Anything but that. Just summarize the TikTok. AITA.
Actually, I fucking hate those TikToks that like a person will tell a story over the course of 3 minutes over a completely unrelated song. I'm just like, please, can we speed this up? Why don't all like some of the videos you can fast forward? I feel like it does. You can't for all of them. Like maybe I just haven't figured it out. But like,
yes, no, you're right. That drives me to
Reels.
drinking.
I hate that.
You
shit.
can fast forward some and others not. I like when I
Yeah.
can fast forward it and then just read the text really fast
Yes.
and get it done. I'm trying to go.
Yeah. Oh my God. I hate TikTok trends. I'm like, okay. I understand like a pregnant pause to drive suspense, but when that pause is 30 seconds, it's just like, oh my God, cut the video.
Stop. Yeah, no,
All right,
and I
sorry,
hate,
guys.
they're so verbose. It's like, yeah. And so then
Hate
I
it.
walked outside and it was a beautiful summer day. And I started to think to myself, you know, like guys can be weird. I'm like, what is the point? Where are we going with this, Janelle?
Uh-huh.
Let's do this.
I hate it.
We are dying, folks. We are all slowly dying. I don't know what that means. AITA for getting mad at my boyfriend for watching porn in front of me. I think we agree wholeheartedly. It is a whopping NTA, and he is.
Facts.
I think it's a little bit too loosey to just start doing this. And if you're doing it with sound on, and you're just gonna start J&O. I mean, it's aggressive.
It's
It's aggressive.
my God.
I'm willing to say that it is a little aggressive. I think you're right, Sarah.
Yeah. Thank you.
It is very much being like, oh, you don't want to fuck me? Well, guess what? You ain't got nothing. I'm still gonna get mine. And like,
Yeah, thank you. That's kind of the vibe it gives. Like, I understand the benefits of masturbation. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
it almost feels like you don't really care how you get off. You just are getting off, and that's that, you know?
yeah. I mean, for it to, like, if it was it's an I-20F and a 22M. If it was like a 44F and a 47M, I'd be like, all right, well, they've been married 20 years. Like, this is just where it is. But I'm like, y'all are young. You seem to not have matching sex lives. Like, I see some incompatibility here. I see potentially an animal. I mean, I have previously gone on the record as saying any guy under 25 is basically an animal. So that does line up.
I think you said a loaded gun. What did you say? What do you say?
Guys under 25 are basically a loaded gun taped to a penis.
There we go.
You can't even reference guns anymore. It just feels like a way too heavy of a topic. It's like,
Yeah.
ugh. Anyway, guys, much love. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. And we will see you. Well, actually, we won't, but I will see you next Monday morning. Sarah, she is working her little tail off. So keep her in your thoughts and prayers and haikus, whatever you want to throw her in. Throw her in, send her some vibes.
Love a haiku. Put it in a Corinthians quote.
There we go. Shout out to my boy Danny Vega, Keto Fat Fueled Family.
Oh, God.
All right. Bye, everybody.